Hello Weekend Crafter! Welcome back to the Craft Time Studio. This is Anne, your Weekend Crafter, and for this weekend, we will be making some Halloween ornaments. So if you're into Halloween decor, or you're just a lover of all things Halloween, I suggest staying around, and if you haven't yet, I hope that you consider liking and subscribing to the Craft Time Studio for your weekend dose of crafts. Since I use a glass mat for my projects, I always clean it by spritzing it with some alcohol and wiping it down. Next, let's bring out the cutters that we'll be using. I'm using this big organic shape, a bear head, and a small oblong. I'm also using my very small pumpkin cutter. Next, let's roll out the clay into the number 4 setting. I went with a light gray base. Once it is rolled out, you can go ahead and press down the organic shaped cutter. I then got my medium grit sandpaper and rubbed the texture onto the clay. Once the clay is textured, I get the bear head cutter and punch it at the lower bottom of the shape. Then I got my detail needle to lift out the gray clay from the center. I then got this golden brown clay color and rolled it into the number 4 setting. Then I got the bear head cutter and cut the golden brown clay. I carefully placed liquid clay around the bear head before placing it inside the gray punched out area. Next, I got my ball tool and pressed the bigger side onto the bear ears to make indents. Then I got my oblong and pressed it down the lower center face of the bear. I also punched 2 small holes using the ball tool for the eyes. Then I rolled out 2 small balls for the eyes and 1 oblong ball for the nose. Now it's time to decorate our bear. I'm placing pumpkins onto the bear's head, so I roll out some bright orange clay and get my mini pumpkin cutter. I used a thin plastic sheet to go between the clay and the cutter because the clay gets stuck to the cutter. I think it's because the cutter is so small. I also placed this pumpkin on the bear's head and I textured it with my detail needle. Next, I got some yellow-orange clay and rolled it out into the number 7 setting. I repeated the process of cutting a small pumpkin and placing it on top of the first pumpkin. Again, this gets textured using a detail needle. Now it's time to make some decor around the bear. I made some very thin snakes that will be twigs. Then I punched 2 small flowers and cut them into tiny leaves. I placed these leaves on the twigs and put the veins on the leaves using my tissue blade. To tie the colors together, I rolled very small balls of bright orange clay to place onto the twigs like holly. This is how the ornaments are looking like. I just used different animal cutters to make the different designs. I actually used this same pattern to make Christmas ornaments, and I'm linking that tutorial above. It amazes me that I can have a completely different look just by using a different color palette. If this is something that you enjoyed watching, I hope that you like and comment on this video. Have a crafty weekend! Bye!